How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yeah, I'm coming in hot. Tonight I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in real hot. Yes, welcome. I was in the process of working on some things but I'm glad to be here. I know that it's ticking. Sometimes they say that there's no such thing as CP time. Right? There's no such thing. Not in African spirituality, there's no such thing as CP time because you go when the ancestors tell you to go. You go when God tells you to go, especially when you know that you are proactive at moving forward. And so I may be not on schedule, but I'm right on time. So welcome to another evening of the African Speaks. Welcome to another evening of the African Speaks. I want to make sure I get this out here. Y'all give me a hot second while we do some technical support here. Okay? And so we want to make sure we get this to as many places as absolutely possible. Let's see here. And so we want to get this done. Now, again, I thank you for being here. We are always focused on the rise of the African. In every situation, circumstance, and anything that we produce, everything that we deliver, it is about the rise of the African, which is our social media Pan African movement, where we're trying to bring Black people together from all over the world, all over the globe, not just our city, Atlanta, not just our city in Houston, not just Detroit or South Carolina. We trying to go from country to country to country to country, giving out a good word, what we call must see live stream. Yes, this is what we do. We produce must see live stream. I am your host, the African. Here at the African Speaks, we have multiple different programming that we have. Sunday is a Keebaland You Sunday. We stream. Hopefully, you didn't miss last week where we were streaming live from Founders Hall here in Atlanta, dealing with our Father's Day. Then, we had today is Afro Stream Day, not Afro Stream, but the African Speaks Day, where we're gonna have an open discussion on some things that just some. If you watched last week, it was another ancestral download that I have. How do you get these topics? Ancestral downloads. I get it from somewhere else, from something above me, and then I gotta write it, produce it, create it, graphic it, deliver it to you. So that's tonight. Thursday night we'll definitely have another version of Afro Stream. Then I don't know if y'all was watching preview. We talked about how the Congo and Uganda have found a big reservoir of gold. So, and then we also discussed how the fact that they are a part of the EAC. So, two countries in the United States of Africa found two huge gold mines worth trillions of dollars to that one country. Ain't that something? Right? So, that one segment of that country. Woo, be powerful. Then we have we're trying to get together, get our Saturdays together so we can jump back into our African history and African spirituality classes. All right. I'm working on some more and more products, maybe before the summer over, some live streams. Got my equipment ready. Hey, if you have a show and that you need somebody to produce it, call the African. I'll help you. All right. Now, if you're watching us, happen to be watching us also because we are definitely trying to move beyond our dynamic. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can get all of the up and coming, notified for all the up and coming programs that we do whenever we live stream. It's a lot it's a lot going on through these hands, through this mind, through this body. So of course, yeah, notify because I may not be I'm not be on schedule. But I'm definitely right on time. And if you're watching us via Facebook, we ask you to always like, always comment, always share. All right. I just saw Shakesha. One love, sister. She's always on her due diligence when we talk about COR, community outreach, spreading the word of liberation to Black people. Again, moving around. So we are dealing with the rise of the African, not only in ourselves, but in everybody that looks like us. So tonight we're still on the topic of the black power potential. Woo! Yes, because when I came up with this concept, and this concept was downloaded to me from the ancestors, brother, talk about the black power potential. Let them know, and this I've been running this one since Mother's Day. Let them know what potential we have available to us, and the potential to achieve something. Now we also said the framework of gauging your potential energy, M times G times H, your mass. We're gonna say the movement of black people. That's the weight of liberation, the gravity or the importance of us being a people, the height in which we can rise to. What is our potential? It is also stated that in diagnosing or analyzing the magnitude of your potential, they said potential only exists when you put something in discomfort. What? The potential to be great only exists when you put something in discomfort, or when you have something that is around you in your life that you just don't like, something that you have to change. That creates the potential for something. Now, as we continue, I like to say, you know, if I didn't see you, you didn't see me on the weekend. Happy Father's Day, cause it's over, right? But Father's Day is every day for fathers. Mother's Day is every day for mothers. Father's Day is every day for men who are single male parents. Mother's Day is every day for single female parents. So we celebrate you and what you do for our children. And I say our as a community. So one love. Now, y'all hadn't seen me rock a hat online, but y'all, those who know me know that I have every single hat I could actually own. Love hats. Hats are a part of my haberdashery. Man, don't watch a brother in a suit and a tie. Woo, with the hat. And so for Father's Day, yeah, one of the Father's Day gifts was the hat. I got about four of them, four different colors. Yes, I might just rock them just to be happy the fact that I got hats. Yes, my Fitzgerald family, one love. What's happening, Ferdinand? They know I gotta have a hat. And why? Because it just makes the look. Y'all know I ain't worried about sitting online without a hat on. But I sat down and said, let me rock it. It's my Father's Day gift. And if y'all know this weekend wasn't only Father's Day, but it was also Juneteenth. What did y'all do during Juneteenth? If anybody did anything special or witnessed anything or had an experience they want to share, go ahead and please share that. I want you to comment that. Tell me what you did for Juneteenth. Do that. Tell me about the man's name who you honored on Father's Day. I know we as a church community, we do Jeramoji Day, but we didn't have a ceremony this year for some reason. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. We in our personal journeys said Happy Founders Day, Father's Day to our founder and father, Jeramoji Baby Ajiman, right? And so now on Juneteenth, when I put the Juneteenth lesson together, there's a Father's Day, Juneteenth collabo convo for Keebaland Inspirational. One of the things that hit me at the end of the video that I saw and that I posted during Juneteenth, one of the things that hit my spirit was not only watching or listening to the documentary of June, and I said I was going to put the documentary Juneteenth that Sunday night when I got home, but had some things pop up and I couldn't do it. Sorry about that, y'all. Next year, I guarantee you we're going to live stream it. Well, you know what? I got dinged. I got dinged by Facebook for putting up somebody else's video. And so, yeah, that happened, right? However, Juneteenth, when I was looking at the information that was being run on Juneteenth, one of the things that hit me was the 2,000 men that went down to Texas to overthrow what Texas was doing after the Emancipation Proclamation. 2,000 men went into a state, just 2,000 of them. 300 of them died. But they went into a state of Texas, y'all know how big Texas is, to overthrow Texas, to get Texas to be aligned with the decree that slavery is now illegal. And that's Juneteenth. That's where June 19th, that's where it comes from, right? And so I realized, I said, wait. 2,000 men could make a difference in a state. How many people does it take to make a difference in a country? Right? Think about it. In terms of, so now after Juneteenth was over, they found out that they were free. Those individuals sought to be balanced out. And so tonight we're going to talk about the black power potential, as it relates to the power of commitment. Woo! What did he say? The black power potential as it relates to the power of commitment. It's my mug for the night. Yeah. And I'm going to slowly unroll this. Because at the end of slavery, with the abolishment of slavery, they were literally, let me move this out of the way, they were literally talking about 40 acres and a mule. Every black person, every black family, can you imagine the country giving ownership to slaves, land, and a resource to till the land, right? We're going to give everybody 40 acres and a mule. They sat down and then they probably sat back and wait, 40 acres and a mule. Now think about it. If they went along with it, what would 40 acres and a mule equate to? Reparations for our black community. Reparations for those individuals that you enslaved. Reparations. Paying back something. Now, if you 40 acres and a mule, it was not the cost of slavery. No. However, ownership of that mule and ownership of that land and what that land produces, resources, yes. Can you imagine what a family would have been able to produce over the time having 40 acres of corn, 40 acres of cotton, 40 acres of sugar, 40 acres of wheat, 40 acres of collard greens, potatoes, 40 acres. And pouring agriculture into because now white folks are going to have to get their food from us. Wait a minute, they talk too fast, right? They spoke too fast. They said, ooh, wait, did we just say 40 acres? And so Lincoln was assassinated and they had somebody replace him because Lincoln probably would have followed through. We don't know. But when they replaced him, that conversation was off the table. So now think about it. We've been talking about our 40 acres in the mule for decades and centuries, right? Long time. Did we get it? No. So after Juneteenth, we roamed the country, trying to move from the south to the north or trying to make ends meet in the south, trying to educate ourselves for the sake of economic equality. Because when you look at the videos, that's what they said. They said they were seeking economic equality. And the same way there's a difference between economic, civil rights and human rights, there's a big difference between economic equality and economic freedom. Woo! Two big differences. So when I'm dealing with economic equality, that means I want someone to treat me equal to them. And so we sought off to be in a country where we said, I want you to treat me equally. Since I'm free, just because we were free doesn't mean that we were equal. And even to this day, that's not how it sees. Because if that was the case, it wouldn't take Biden, and that's just recent, Biden to make Juneteenth a national holiday. They're trying to appease black folk, especially after social injustice. Right. Think about it. But if you had economic freedom, what? You had the freedom to produce your own raw resources. Sell it as you choose fit. Economic freedom is a whole different conversation, and we might have that conversation. We might have the conversation between what's the difference between. Now, I believe one is a step toward the other. Yes. We need economic equality to get toward our goal of economic freedom. Yes, we need that. But what happened was when black folk, when we stepped out to seek economic equality, we for the last 400 years have still come across the same black reality. Ain't that something? And so I'm sitting there looking like, yo, okay, I'm watching this and I'm seeing where we are, and we're marching happily for our accomplishments. Of course, I'm for that. I'm not against it. That's not where I'm going. You're gonna see where I'm going in a little bit. So, but yeah, so we marched against, we fought in a country that proves that this is gonna be our black reality according to the government that stands. This is it. Some of us may break through, some of us may not, but as a whole, no. And in those who break through are not free. They just are well off rich slaves. When you don't own and can't operate food, clothes, and shelter, you're not self-governed, right? And we're gonna get there. So in that space, when we find out that this is our black reality, this is what black people gone through. And so we move on to the 1920s, where we have a voice that tried to bring about the understanding of how we need to move away from this. And that voice came from many. Now, black academia is powerful back then. Education was the key, and they knew it. They knew it. Yo, I need to get this education. Again, if y'all have not seen Tell Them We Rise, which is a documentary on the development of the HBCUs and how important and essential it was for us to try to move toward a state of equality in this country. Right? Get it. But even so, we still here. We trying to find, and so we're moving up in this struggle, because I couldn't be here if it wasn't for those individuals who came before. So now in the 1920s, we have a voice that come out and says, yo, we need to address leadership. We need to address our leadership. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Wow. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. And that's what Marcus Garvey was saying. And if you look at it, we are still trying to go to a leadership that's saying, hey, depend on this country to give us human rights. And we're still watching people getting shot down in schools. Kids now. You got to change leadership. Leadership looks different. And so when that happened, Garvey gave us the concept of a nation within a nation. Now this is don't mind the graphics. The graphics on this was pulled from a book. So I left the book signed, the book information there so y'all can grab it. But brother wrote a book, A Nation Within a Nation, and talked about the concept of a nation within a nation. Now, if you are dealing in any particular community, and I'm from New York, and you go to New York, that Spanish community, that's a nation. They're strong. New York, you walk into a Jewish community, they function hardcore. They strong. Wait, the most powerful other than the Jews in New York, walk into Chinatown. Man, they keep their traditions, heritage, hierarchies, everything solid. They look like a community, like a nation. Right? Italians. Man, come on. They ran underground world, nation. When does it happen for black folk? So Garvey was saying that we need to develop a nation within a nation. Now, one of the things that I was looking at it and I was saying, wow, what would that look like in reference to success for black folk? What would that look like? How could we measure success in that? And then what would it take to get that tonight. Yeah, we talking about the power of commitment here. That's that black power potential. The potential that we have to produce if we become committed to the concept of a nation within a nation. Now, understand that where and let me drop this in terms of success. That's an issue of self-governance. It's community connectedness. And there's certain levels of self-governance, right? A nation within a nation. So if you could sit down and say, okay, you know what? Black people the world over are having problems. And so when you talk about that African diaspora being conscious that we're everywhere and we're all, all places. How many of those people, and I always tell people, we don't need everybody. We don't need everybody. Like we're about to merge on a project where I say I don't need everybody. I just need 100,000 people, and we're gonna start advertising it strong because I'm still building a foundation to launch out beyond my community, and so I'm pushing for this. But I don't need everybody. I don't need the 600. That's the 62 million black folk in Brazil, or the 46 million black people in the United States, or the 11 million in Haiti. No, I just need 100,000 black people to work out the most powerful experience black people have ever had in this country. Just 100,000. You give me 100,000, I'll show you something that changed the world. And I'm gonna start advertising this hard soon. But what we're talking about is governance from within, and that's covering everything. And so when I was looking at the video of Juneteenth, and I was talking, I did the conversation about fatherhood, and fatherhood being a issue of legacy and a state. It's a sense of consciousness. It goes way beyond being biologically connected to a child. Because I went to the Earth Gang. I wish I had the videos up. I went to the Earth Gang concert, and I saw all my kids, all my children. Bakari was sitting next to me. He was like, yo, what it's like to see your children all in one spot. And it felt good to go to a spot and watch everybody hanging out, watching one of our brothers on the stage, killing it, being his fullness of himself. And he said, yo, we all here watching. Beautiful thing. And so we talk about, that nation feeling where we are teaching ourselves, we're protecting ourselves, we're feeding ourselves, educating ourselves, it's the whole gambit of things. And so what I was looking at, when I was thinking about the numbers of black folk that there is, the magnitude of people that went to parades, I said, wow, what happens when because there's a saying that 99.9% of people will not do what it takes to get a job done. Excuse me. That's why they only needed 2,000 soldiers. They didn't need a whole massive army to change over a whole state. Most of the time you do. But no, they needed 2,000 men, lost 300, changed the whole thing. Juneteenth, national celebration now, years later, right? They didn't need everybody. And according to statistics, 99.9% of the people will not fulfill their dreams. 99.9% of their people will not commit to doing what it takes to pursue their goals. It only takes a percentage of us. We're going to get to this. They said 83% of people have no goals whatsoever. I'm like, what? They just here. They're just existing. They're just surviving. 83%. They said 14% of the people have goals, but they're in their heads. Wait, and before I drop this, I gotta go get this, right? I'm gonna get this. Well, I can't. I can't because we live, right? We're gonna stop because I meant to go grab this. And so it's a thought process, right? Somebody thinks about something, and then all of a sudden, after what you thought about, and then you try to implement it from a thought. You try to share your vision with a thought. Somebody told me when I was young, if you can't write it down, then how can somebody believe you if you don't know how to articulate it with a written skill? Now, they said if you have your goals in your head, it's about what 10 times percent successful. Then those who don't have no goals, you're 10 times percent successful. Then they said only 3% of the people have written goals, right? I've written everything that I'm going to produce down. I have a little paperwork set up. I have the framework in which I've been building on. So when people see me produce something, I've been thinking about this for a minute. Some things, some goals I have that are in my head, and I don't let anybody know it because I don't, I don't share I don't get the pressure. So nobody's pushing me. And so I don't write them down. They're here, and when I produce them, people are like, "Oh, where'd that come from?" It's been in my head for a while, so I produced it. You can get successful. You have those people, 14, where it's well no goals in my head. 14%, part of 14%, and so I produce this all in my head. I can create something now. Like I said, I got future goals to create future shows. Those in my head, and they come back. Those are those ancestral downloads. Sometimes you need something to write those ancestral downloads. I hope you were here last week and you understand how to access, how to connect, and what you need to do to get to your ancestral downloads. Okay, we're not going to go over that. But because this is today, we're talking about the power, the black power potential of the power of commitment. So now you have those who have those goals in their heart and they dream. Those are the dreamers, the visionaries. It's there. And they don't need to really articulate it to anybody because them is there. And they try to live it. 14%. You are 10,000 times more successful than the person that don't have a dream. Now I will sit down and say, if you're not dreaming about there are degrees to dreaming about a life. And if you're not dreaming about anything, it is because you're still deeply affected by black reality. Because when you are free spirited, free intellectually, free emotionally, you dream. When your self-esteem is not stuck, you dream. When your self-esteem is shot and you don't believe in yourself, it's hard to see anything. Now, a lot of times we're dreaming from the state of black reality where we only dreaming for ourselves. Only true visionary and liberated people dream for people. Excuse me. Only a few people dream for people, not just for yourself. Dream for people. That's a few of us. A few of us are out there with ideas and concepts that say, you know what? We can make a move. I can make a difference. I can change the world. Very few of us are out there doing that. But when you dream, you know when you can't dream, this is a problem. And that's what you have to attack first. You have to find a way to spiritually open up. If you need more ways to spiritually open up, please join us at Akibaland Inspirational Sunday. All ages. I'm trying to tell you, I have adults that hit me up saying, dude, you woke me up. I got something for you. Guaranteed. Now, there are those who write their goals down. Those individuals who write their goals down are 30 times more successful. And it's not only just writing it down or you analyzing it, you pulling it apart. It's also visualizing. That's that manifestation. You're visualizing it by writing it down. You're planning it like it's gonna happen, rather than just seeing it in your head. Some things I see in my head, and the basic of everything, the basis of everything I'm doing is already written down. I add to it. Now, when I add to it, my add-ons, my amendments only happen in my head. However, I like very few people would really commit the power of commitment. Really commit to actually manifesting the thoughts and the concepts and the ideas I have. When I was younger, I had a story. When I was younger, my stepdad said, "Yo," because I would build cars, go karts out of junk. I would go over to the mountains across the street from OV, Ocean Village, where we live. One love. Anybody from OV, I'm hollering at you. I would go. Sorry, I would go steal sharpen carts. You know what I mean? Big wheels and tear them apart and put these things and put my cart, my go kart together. And one day he saw me doing this, and he said, "If you could have a car, if you could build one from scratch, what would it look like?" He said, "I want you to draw me front, the sides, and the back." I said, "I didn't just draw it one. I drew three versions of the car." And when I'm trying to tell you, he got me some wood and some nails and showed me how to manifest a thought. I built the flyest go kart my neighborhood ever seen. And after I built one, every kid who had that mindset to create build one too. Woo! I remember Joseph, and then there's a couple other Magnetic and his brothers. One love Mag. They had it looked like an ambulance. It was so big because they were big, and his brothers was huge. They would if we were outside playing, if you wasn't fast, pushing and spinning, turning, riding around through the neighborhood, man, they would come up to you, pull a hammer out, and bang it, just destroy your car. That never happened because I never got caught. Mine was lightweight, quick, spin, fast. Was nice. It was nice. But my father said, put it down. And so in that space and time, I understood the importance of creating your goals and putting them on a piece of paper. I found out as I did some altar work today, I found a piece of paper that my daughter placed on the altar alongside my plans for the world of Akibaland. Right? I have there's different layers of the world of Akibaland, and COVID, we was almost moving, and COVID put some halts in some things. And so I had to learn how to reroute. That's when I keep things in my head when I have to reroute. Other than that, it's a step-by-step process. And I've given some of that step-by-step process to individuals in my community, just to let them know, look, when I produce something, you just don't let it be a shock to you, because it's coming. When? I can't tell you, but it's coming. Only because at that point I was my only resource. So again, we're talking about the power of commitment. Can you commit to the goals that you have in your head? Now, here's the thing that hit me doing watching the meeting, or the parades for Juneteenth, and understanding the legacy of fatherhood and parenting and what we're doing. And then there was a brother. His name is Antoine. And if you want to look him on my page, you can look at it. He might call himself Sonny. When Antoine was little, before I left New York, I told Antoine, "Look, I want you to feel good about who you are." It's like, what? "I want you to feel good about Anthony, not Antoine, but Anthony. I want you to feel good about who you are." So I went to Ant's house. I knocked on his door, Ant and Sonny, one love. I knocked on his door and was like, "Yo, Ant." I asked his mom, said, "Ma'am, do you mind if I take Ant shopping before he goes to school?" I said, I took him shopping. I said, "I want you to feel good about who you are." And he was like maybe 8 years old, and he was going to the school, 225 for the first time. And was you 6? That's Son Dooley right there, one love. And I got him polo all the way down. Polo shirt, polo pants, polo sneakers, polo hat. He poloed. At that moment, I didn't know what I was pouring into him. I remember the seed that I was dropping. I wasn't aware of it then. Because after that, soon after, I had to get shipped out of New York for the trouble that I got into. So I didn't see Ant no more until maybe 8 to 10 years ago, where we bumped into each other here in New York. Not here in Atlanta, I'm sorry. And so we're here in Atlanta, and I'm looking at what Ant was producing. Ant had his own fashion line. He said, "You don't even understand what you did for me, man." He said, "You inspired me to make sure that everybody looks good," right? And so he was trying to come up with what he was going to advertise. What did he do? Wow, 1P. He said, "Do you know that there's only 1% of the population that is going to do?" Let me show you. Oh yeah, yeah, that 1P. You see it? I got it. You can get the T-shirt on a Keeberland website. You can purchase your 1P website T-shirt on our page on the website WOAATL.org. All proceeds go to the development of our youth program. I'm gonna start advertising that more. It's coming. I'm designing some more t-shirts. But I went to Ant and I was like, yo, dude, he said only 1% of the population will surrender to the process of full commitment of their dreams, full commitment of their goals, and proceed to make sure that through everything that they do from sun up to sundown, fulfilling that desire. And so that's why the shark, man, these sharks out here. That when they do this, when you see sports people do this, they eat. It's time to eat. Because very few of us are going to completely commit to the changing of our worlds, our lives in which we live in. When we talk about changing black reality or a nation within a nation, you don't need everybody. I don't know how many times I keep telling everybody, oh, we need more children. No. Oh, we need more of this. We need more. What you need is commitment. We need to be able to help black folk tap into that sense of self where they understand we need a nation within a nation and can't nothing stop it. Not even our own differences. We just need 1% of the population. And let's talk about it. 1% of 46 million people in the United States. Now, I'm going to say this because the internet of things, and we've talked about that here. You don't need to only focus on the United States. You can pull black people from anywhere around the planet. You need content. Constant content. Content creators. You can't be a program without creative content. I'm creating as much content as possible. What I don't have, because I'm 1%. I'm, world of Keeberland. What I don't have is them soldiers, but according to what I've been doing, they said them soldiers is coming. Woo! And it's about sharing your vision and sparking that shark. And it's not even we won't even say, we got to come up with another version. It's not even a killer instinct. It's like a living instinct. That's what we're going to call it. The living instinct of a black man or a black woman. The living instinct to say, I'm going to make sure I breathe. I got so mad when people were saying, I can't breathe and when I can't breathe t-shirts. No, we're going to flip that because we sharks. We gorillas. We apes. We monsters. We beasts. When it comes to the living instinct, the lion behind me, he going to live. He not going to sit down and be hungry and be like, look, I can't eat. No, he goes out and hunts his food. And if he hasn't eaten in months, he chill. And he gonna wait. And he gonna look and be like, yeah, I ain't got enough energy to chase that one. I'm gonna let that one go. Nope. That one right there, yeah, I'm gonna eat that. Then after I eat that, then I'm gonna go chase the gazelle. Because he gotta eat. He gotta live. It's not a killer instinct. It's a living instinct. When are we going to make a decision to be that 1%? I'm going to be a part of the 1% of the population. I'm fighting for it. I'm going to live every day. And most of my friends can't understand it. Community members can't understand it. How you do what you do, because I'm coming from a living instinct. And so tell me your dream. Tell me your vision. Tell me your desires. Tell me what you see, what you hope. And tell me you believe, you know that God planted in you the living instinct, that you gonna breathe, you gonna eat, you gonna achieve, you gonna grow. The living instinct. When you watch those parades, I felt the power of a living instinct, but they need leadership. Hence, wait till we start advertising even on a larger scale. They need leadership. I'm gonna do a whole sermon off the living instinct this Sunday. Woo! Forget the killer instinct. We gonna do the living instinct, where we are the 1% that the creator and the ancestors need to flip the world over. That's this Sunday. It just hit me. The living instinct, 1%. And when I heard my aunt drop that, and he goes around and he travels and he hand delivers the t-shirts. He makes sure they print it, make sure they write, and he hands deliver them. I said, look, I'm not about to do that. Can I add some changes to your design and share that concept with you? He said, absolutely, big bro. Boom. The living instinct, 1%. And I wear this with pride. I'm gonna start getting me a whole collection of them now. But that's what this is. And I'm gonna create phrase, the living instinct. Woo. Not the killer one. Cause I ain't trying to kill nobody. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna live. If something dies in the process, that means it wasn't meant. That means it lived to its fullest. It's now become extinct. Because I'm not gonna fade away into the midst of nothingness where my legacy is not remembered. That's not gonna happen. We can celebrate Juneteenth because they had the living instinct. They were the 1% of the army. Only 2,000 black men. They didn't send white men to do it. Because they said, yo, the war's over. There's no need for us to fight no more. So who felt the need to fight? Black soldiers. Had to march back. So yeah, we're not done yet. Why? Because it's time for us to live. Not time for us to die. What will you live for? That's the difference between living for something and dying for nothing. I didn't die because I died for something. No. I transitioned because I'm living for something. So even in my transition, I find life. The living instinct. Wow. This is hitting me heavy. And I can't wait to drop this one. So what percent of the population do you sit on? I don't care. Don't, and I'm hard. I tell everybody I cut hard. If you're a part of a population that believes that there's a nation or organization that believes in a nation within a nation, but you do nothing, man, please, you ain't got no living instinct. You living from the position of death. Black people, you are going to either live or you're going to die. Just because you're a part of an organization and you do nothing, but I'm a member. I'm a member. Doing what? Participating? No, spectating. That's it. I remember the moment that I was sitting in the congregation and I said, I can no longer sit and watch. I was done. The living instinct kicked in. Man, I'm about to do this sermon. The living instinct kicked in and the ideas and the concept, the creativity flowed. I couldn't plug. There was no place for me to plug into. Now, I remember calling Houston. Yo, I might have to leave because I can't find a place to live. And he said, who is they to tell you what you can and cannot do in terms of what God is calling you to do in your living? And so what happens? That black power potential switched when I tapped in to that living instinct. The black power potential switched when I became a part of that 1% who was going to commit to being my greatest self. The black power potential kicked in when I surrendered everything to higher powers, the creator and the ancestors. And I developed a partnership of commitment that I will do everything I can to bring honor to the being that God created here. To my root ancestors, the ones that called my spirit here, I commit myself to doing the job. I'm about to do this sermon. Let me stop. The black power potential to create an experience where we know what it feels like to have a nation within a nation. How do we do that? Easy. We make sure that we are people wherever we go. We make sure that we are people in whatever we do. How does that look? How does that look, brother Ajay? How does that look? First, let me see if I can do this with you. Human resources. We have to realize that we are the first resource that we have. We are the first resource that we have. And so it takes us connecting together as people, seeing our people's need, and going out and being the leadership that we seek to manifest. We got to be the change. So we got to let go of those bonds. Look at all those numbers of the diaspora. All we need is a human resource. Once we have that, the first and the next step, yeah, of course, is education. Education. What? Y'all know they said a formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Now, somebody told me I was the next internet millionaire with what I can do. I said, yeah, but I'm not after self. I'm trying to raise the consciousness of my people. Could I go into digital America and create a new? Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, but I'm not doing it. Why? Because my commitment to my people is bigger than my commitment to my own individualism. Think about it. But we're going to have to educate ourselves. And so we have this conversation where we dealing with critical race theory in our schools. Y'all shut up. Shut up. And build your own school so you don't have to ask for permission. Woo! Be the 1%. Man, let's get it. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah. I'm in the spirit. I don't mean to yell. Yes, I do. In that space, we talk about economic independence, right? And so we've done this. We're not looking for not only equality, but economic freedom. And so you're like, economic freedom. Yeah, we are on our own resources. That's and so when you're dealing with economic freedom, you're working on things. Where's it at? Did I put it in here? Oh man, I didn't put it in here. Where we are our own intellectual, we own our intellectual property. We have, if we pull together and we have that resource and the intellectual property, and we pool our money together, that's cooperative economics. Yes. Now, there was a conversation where understanding technology, blockchain technology, and if you don't understand blockchain technology, this is a technology used to create cryptocurrency. So how do you what? Yeah, you can't be a liberated people without finance. And so now you sitting there taking a look at, well, cryptocurrency. I had a whole class on cryptocurrency a few years ago. And I sat down and said, yeah, black people can create their own source of financing, especially with the blockchain technology. You don't have to go through the banks anymore. Hmm? Yeah. And all we have to do is agree that this is going to be worth something. So if you sit down and you're like Elon Musk, come on now, black folk, do you see them doing it? And I mean, I've been talking about this for about, I can say about 5 years in my community. About 5. Do they listen? No. Why? Because they're not ready to hear or even utilize technology to move black people forward. But utilizing the blockchain technology, what I said was, we have a 5,000-acre farm. You want to create an economic a thing. How about this? The same way people use the EBT card, you can have a grocery card. And on that grocery card can be traded in for nation dollars, black nation dollars. So your $5 might get you $10 worth of groceries. Think about it. So everybody's coming into our shop turning in $5. And you're getting a card that will give you $10 worth of groceries, vegetables. What? Yeah, so now you trade money, right? It becomes worth something. Why? Because it feeds you. You can come back, and if you all have $5 and you turn it in, you can't. Now, if you only spending $5, you spending cash. Yeah, your $5 is gonna get you $5. But if you want to do crypto, yeah, your $5 will yield you $10. Ain't that something? So now people are now more apt to use your currency to do what? Buy food from your farm. Why? Because we're trying to feed each other. We're not trying to feed each other. We're not trying to get rich off of individuals by overcharging them for stuff. No, we just, got this acreage. We got this food. And, some, of course, food banks now are giving away food for free, which is a beautiful thing. And we should, because people are not working. But imagine a cryptocurrency used to pay for things in our community that, we buy every day. And so somebody needs to be studying blockchain. Needs to be studying crypto and make that happen. Now, in that process, another thing that we'll need, you know, as always, security. We got to be able to protect ourselves. Protect ourselves with our finances. We can have, well, security, and so the FYI did it. We do it. I was security forces called the Maccabees. One Love Maccabees. I'm a Maccabee, right? I'm gonna fight for the nation. I'm gonna fight for black people. I'm gonna secure everything I do. I'm walking somewhere and I'm looking. It's just a habit. I grew up like that, being from New York. But yeah, so we have our own force. I don't have a picture of the Maccabees. I'm sorry I didn't grab one before this one. This was like uh, ancestral download, so I had to grab something real quick and put it up. But we need to take care of our own everything. So you want to sit down and say black men don't have nothing to do? Yeah, create a security force for our community and let them patrol our neighborhoods and our streets and let them eat well, live decent, m- more than just a living wage, because their lives are on the line, and see what happens. But it's all based off of understanding the concept of a nation within a nation, and the fact that we're dealing with not that one, but that one, the power of commitment. We only need 1%. We only need 1% of the population to surrender and commit to watch this power potential. 1% of those people in the parade that you saw. 1% you saw the people in the news that you watched on the video. Just 1% to commit to the liberation of black people, to the rise of the African. You put up 1%, and I can guarantee you the world will change, because there will be a people then that lives by an example of what life looks like when we are able to produce the rise of the African within us, and then create a community experience that you see. Now, I've lived in this, I spoke to a brother some time ago, and he was saying it's hard to tell people about our community because nobody's ever experienced it. Yeah. People don't understand why I do what I do, and I talk about my community and how I go hard. I know I lived, I still live. Well, we don't live in the community because I moved outside of the community, but I still function in the community that lives like a people. I know what it's like to be a group of people and see individuals functioning from that 1%, where you're giving pure commitment to the rise of the African, not only in themselves, but the African on this earth, where we're building something so people can be the, the fullness of who God called them to be, period. We actually become our ancestors' wildest dreams, period. Mm. What would that look like? Again, I ask you, tell me what you felt watching the Juneteenth parade, seeing the cultural things and everything else. For me, it triggered the fact that we just need 1% of the people in every state who walked them, who celebrated the freedom of black people. 1% to commit to the rise of the African. And then I will be able to show you things that you have never seen before. I want to see that before I go. That's my journey. I know what my journey is, and I commit to it. Whether it happens or not is not my issue. Whether or not I listen and do what the Creator tells me to do when He tells me to do it. Whether or not I lean on my ancestors when I'm supposed to. Not only because I need something, but because I'm called to be and do something. In that space, I'm contributing to the rise of the African. And I hope you join me and be that 1% that can't go without experiencing that living instinct. And with that, y'all come Sunday because I'm going to kill this one. The living instinct. One love.